This video is for informational and educational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. All individuals mentioned are presumed innocent until proven guilty. The analysis reflects legal commentary based on publicly available information at the time of the publication. A foreign national crowned as a king in South African soil. No recognition from the state, no legal process followed, and yet a title was declared king. What may appear to be cultural moment has now escalated into serious legal question with national implications. The center of this unfold situation of Solomon Ogbonna Eziko, a man whose coronation has sparked a legal debate that goes far beyond one ceremony. The question now facing authority is direct and decisive. Was this an act of cultural expression, or was it violation of South African law? Because in this country, kingship is not symbolic, it is regulated, and if that line was crossed, the consequences could be severe. What happened? On 14th of March, a ceremony took place in Kugombo City in the Eastern Cape. The event was organized by members of Nigerian Igbo community, and during the gathering, Solomon Ogbonna Eziko was presented as an Igwe Digona East London, meaning the king of the Igbo people in East London. To some, this may have appeared to be cultural celebration, a moment of identity and heritage. However, in South African legal context, the use of this title is not merely ceremonial. It carries legal recognition and authority, and it is governed by the structural framework. This is where the situation begins to move from culture into law. The legal framework in South Africa, kingship is not created by communities alone. It is recognized through a formal legal process involving the state. This includes oversight by relevant government structures, recommendation through official channels, and ultimately formal recognition. Without this process, no kingship exists in the eyes of the law. There is only a recognized claim. According to authorities, the event involved Eziko fall outside his legal framework, raising serious questions about its legality. The state position. Government officials responded quickly, describing the event as unlawful and inconsistent with the law governing traditional leadership. More significant, the act has been characterized as a potential case of impersonation. This is critical shift. Once an act is as impersonating, it moves beyond cultural debate into the domain of criminal law. It becomes something that may attract prosecution and legal consequences. Criminal exposure. The potential legal consequences facing Solomon Ogbo Eziko are substantial. If it can be proven that the presented himself as a legitimate traditional leader, he may face charges related to impersonation. Declaring kingship outside recognized legal structure may also constitute a violation of the law regulating traditional leadership. In addition, authorities examined whether this action may have breached immigration law if he engaged in an activity outside the condition of his visa. This could result in further legal consequences, including deportation. The case is therefore not limited to criminal law, but may extend into immigration enforcement. The defense strategy. The defense does not dispute the ceremony took place. Instead, it challenges the interpretation of what that ceremony presents. The Nigerian High Commissioner has stated that the event was not formal coronation, but a cultural celebration. This distinction lies at the heart of the case. If the event is accepted as cultural, then no legal kingship was created, no impersonation occurred, and no relevant law was violated. What appears to be legal issue would instead reframe as cultural expression. Why the defense is strong. This argument is particularly strong because the law considers not only what happened, but why it happened. Intent becomes central. The court will examine whether there was an intention to establish real authority or whether the ceremony was symbolic in nature. it will assess how the event was presented and whether it created impression of official recognition. Culture is protected within the legal system, while authority is regulated. The outcome will depend on how the court interprets the line between these two. Constitutional and sovereignty issue. This case also raised broader constitutional concern. Traditional leadership in South Africa forms part of the recognized governance system, with leaders holding definite authority and jurisdiction. When a person is crowned as a king outside the system, it raised questions of whether a parallel structure of authority is being created. This is why officials have framed the issue as one of the touches severality and constitutional order. It is not about legality, but about the maintenance of integrity and establishment of system of governance. The immigration aspect adds another layer of legal complexity. If it is found that a Zico acted outside the conditions of his stay in South Africa, the threshold of informants may be lower than in any criminal case. Authorities may only need to demonstrate non-compliance with the visa conditions. If it is established, deportation proceeds could follow regardless of the outcome of any criminal charges. This makes the immigration dimension one of the most significant risks in this case. What the state must prove. For the state to succeed, it must demonstrate that the event was a genuine commemoration rather than a cultural gathering. It must show that Zico presented himself as a legitimate traditional leader and that his representation violated the South African law. If immigration violations are pushed, these must also be proven. If the state fails to establish that the event was coronation, its case becomes significantly weaker. What the defense must prove. The defense, by contrast, carries a lighter burden. It must introduce reasonable doubt by showing that the event was cultural and that there was no intention of creating a legal authority. By emphasizing symbols and absence of formal recognition, the defense can challenge the prosecution case. If the court accepts this interception, establishing criminal liability becomes difficult. What happened next? The next step will be determined by the government authority. A high-level process is expected to decide whether criminal charges will be persuaded, whether deportation proceedings will be initiated, and how South Africa will respond both legally and diplomatically. The involvement of foreign nationals means that this case may also have implications of international relations. Final analysis. Who is winning? At this stage, the case appears balanced, but there's a slight advantage to the defense, proving that the ceremony constituted a formal coronation in a legal sense is complex. The state must establish intent, representation, and legal consequences. The defense, however, only needs to demonstrate that the event was cultural. If that argument is accepted, the prosecution case falls weaker considerably. Conclusion. The final question. The focus now shifts from event itself to the meaning within the law. The issue is not simply whether the ceremony took place, but whether that ceremony created authority recognized by the legal system. In South African, kingship cannot exist outside legal processes, but cultural expression remains protected. And so, as this case moves forward, one question remains: was this a culture or a crown crime? That concludes our analysis. Thank you for watching the sim. If you found this breakdown useful, consider subscribing for clear, factual legal analysis. Until next time, stay informed.